అంతే
స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయినా అంటే వస్తుందా నీకు
నొక్కాలి ఇక్కడ చిన్న క్లాస్
యాక్షన్ చేస్తారు
Okay, good morning to one and all. In previous session, we discussed about process management, that is unit 2. Now let us discuss about memory management. In any computer system, the two most important components are CPU and main memory. Means CPU used for faster executions, whereas main memory is used to help all the processes gets executed in the main memory. These two play a vital role in operating system. Hence, the operating system should become an efficient operating system. It can manage CPU faster by applying various scheduling algorithms and then efficiently utilize the main memory. Hence, you call it as a efficient operating system or fair operating system. Means which operating system will provide higher CPU execution time and less memory requirements for execution. Those two factors will decide whether the operating system is efficient one or not. These two factors will decide the operating system efficiency. Coming to the memory management, these are the various topics covered in this memory management unit. Swapping concept, contiguous memory allocation, paging technique, structure of page table, segmentation, virtual memory, demand paging, page replacement algorithms, and thrashing. Those are the various topics covered in this memory management unit. So far, we covered first and second unit. First unit clearly discussed about introduction of operating system, because what are the functionalities, services provided by the operating system, and various types of operating systems, OS concepts, various types of system calls, all are covered in the first unit. Coming to the second unit, it will discuss about all concepts related to the process management. Process, what is a process? How to create a process, how to terminate a process, and how to execute a process through PCB, how all the entries are loaded. Then process scheduling is the main and foremost functionality of an operating system. Scheduling, you have several types, all will be discovered in the second unit. That's why process management and memory management are the two most important aspects of operating system. Now, given the brief introduction about memory management. Memory management is the functionality of an operating system which handles, manages primary memory and moves process back and forth between main memory and disk during the execution. You know already, there is no enough space in main memory. The processes are moved from main memory to the disk and again disk to the main memory. And always your memory management keep track of each and every memory location. If it is allocated to some process, whether it is filled or whether it is free. Entire memory allocation and deallocation policies are managed by Memory Management Unit, MMU. Memory Management Unit. It checks how much memory is allocated to process and it decides which process will get memory at what time. Means memory allocation and memory deallocation. Means assigning the memory to the particular process while execution. After successful termination of that process, it will again deallocated and free that memory space, and that memory will be used by some other process. It tracks whenever some memory gets freed and or unallocated. Correspondingly, it updates the status. Means among the memory, how many are filled blocks and how many are free blocks. Everything will be controlled by the Memory Management Unit, MMU. Now, we should define the two addresses here in case of memory management. Here, logical versus physical address space. Logical address and physical address. Logical address, an address generated by the CPU. Means CPU generates while execution. That address you are called as either logical address or virtual address. CPU generated address you are called as logical or virtual address. And then physical address, an address generated by the Memory Management Unit, an address generated by the Memory Management Unit, MMU, called as the physical address. For example, I want to go to anybody's house, for example. Where is your house, I am asking? Near fire station. That is the logical address. From fire station, where I am to move. Then go to the straight, take right turn and move away. Again, take left turn. There the door number will be there, 25-15-9. That is the door number. Go to that is the physical address. Means that person will be available at that particular location. That is called as the physical address. An address generated by the CPU called as the logical address or virtual address. Whereas coming to the address generated by the main memory management unit, MMU, called as the physical address. Here you should observe one thing. Logical address and physical addresses are all same in the compile time and load time. Means here the amount of time required to compile a particular program, that is called as the compile time, and load time or binding time. Load time is the loading of exe file, executable file, to the memory. That is done by the loader. A loader loads the object file into the memory, and after execution it generates that exe file. That is called as the load time. Here, logical address space is the set of all logical addresses generated by a program. Physical address space is the set of all physical addresses generated by the program. Means here we have the two addresses. One as logical address and physical address. Up to that, both are same in case of compile time. During the runtime, we have to differentiate what time it will be loaded and how much time it will be taken to execute. Here we have to identify two registers here, base and limit registers. A pair of base and limit registers will define the logical address space. CPU must check every memory access generated in user mode. The generated addresses must be in between the base and limit for that user. See, this is the main memory. Some portion will be occupied by the operating system and remaining will be occupied by the process. Here, these are the addresses 0 to 25,000, 2,56,000, 3,40,000. Likewise, some address locations are given. Here, for that, you consider one process. 3040 is the base address. Limit is the 120,900, means that is the limit indicates the length of that particular process. Base address indicates the starting address where the process will be resides and starts its execution. From that location, it will start 3,40,000, for example. These two registers are helpful to the user to calculate physical address and logical address. Here, multi-step processing of a user program. What are the various steps? While taken during the execution. Starts from, you have the source program, .c or .java or .python. You should consider any source program. That's the source program. The user wants to type that program. and the program is saved. Then compiler or assembler, it is a language translator. It is a language translator. This compiler or assembler will convert your source code to the object code. For that, some amount of time required, that is called as the compile time. You are called as static binding. Here, it is a compile time is static. It may not be dynamic. Once it's fixed, that object code is generated. This is the output generated by the compiler or assembler as .obj file, .object file. Then, and some other object modules also added. Linkage editor, that is called as a linker. During the runtime or load time, it will links all header files like hash include stdio.h or all classes, method invocation, all will be linked together at this time. Then the linkage editor will load that particular module, and it takes some time to load that particular program into the object program into the main memory. That is called as the load time. The loader will load this object file along with the system library. That entire file will be loaded dynamically during the execution time. Means in the main memory, this loader will place that into the main memory for execution. Execution means the process must be in running state now. The process must be in running state. In memory, binary memory image means it will be loaded into the memory. That is the object file. It will converting into binary file. This loading may be dynamically loaded, not statically. Means if you consider your C program, you want to consider a1.c, that is a source program. Compiler will .a1.obj file object file, that is the object module, and other object modules. If any other reusable components or some functions are there, you have to add it to the linkage editor. Linkage editor or linker you are called as links the file. That linkage editor loads the entire module of object module to the loader with the help of system library. Then this loader will load into the object file a.obj dynamically. Means then you want to pass the values during the runtime. SSH filename.c. Then you want to supply input values, enter value for n. Then the user wants to enter 5. That's a factorial program, for example, assume. Then /a.out. It will represent the execution time. The execution time needs some time for entire execution, including input output also. That is called as a execution time or runtime. Now it will generate the output to the screen. Factorial of 5 is 120. Means here we have to bind the programs in two ways. One is compile time binding, that is the static binding, and dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means during the execution time. It may not be changed during the execution. The values also may not be changed. Once you have to enter the input, that values are used to process the output. This is the various steps while using a user program or user process. Here you have to remember compile time, load time, and execution time. Compile time for compilation, how much amount of time required for compile a program. Load time means the time required to load object file into the main memory. Then here the OS will take care of memory allocation done by the main memory management unit. Memory management unit, that is called as the memory allocation policy. And some allocation policies or algorithms are there, memory allocation algorithms. Based upon that algorithms, it will allocate the memory space in the main memory. That is the during the load time. After that, execution. When it will be executed means once the processor is loaded into the main memory and the CPU is ready to execute in the ready queue, and by applying FCFS or SJF or priority or round robin scheduling algorithms, you have to follow one algorithm, normal default as FCFS algorithm. At that moment, the memory allocation and reallocation is possible. During the execution time, it may move to the either ready queue or blocked queue, or again blocked to the ready queue. Swapping is possible at that execution time. These 3 times are required while executing a program. Whenever compile time very less and load time is also minimum, execution time is also less, then you call it as efficient memory utilization by the process given by the operating system. These are the various steps processing of a user program. Okay, then dynamic reallocation or relocation using relocation register. Here, dynamic linking and loading is widely used because of memory space utilization, better memory space utilization. Here, the CPU generates logical address, that is 346 is the logical address generated by the CPU. This is called as the virtual address. Your main memory management unit or memory management unit, you are called as MMU, which will generate physical address, that is called as the relocation register, that is 14,000. Now the contents of base register 346 plus contents of relocation registers means logical address contents plus contents of relocation address gives the physical address, means 14,346, that is available in the main memory. Means at that location the process is exactly loaded into the 14,346. This is known as dynamic relocation using relocating register. Here, if you remember, an address generated by the CPU is called as logical address, and address generated by the memory management unit called as the physical address, where actually the process is to be loaded into the main memory. There is the physical appearance or physical availability that indicates where the process is physically available in the main memory, that is indicated by the physical address. Here CPU, it will generate logical address. It will be stored in your base register 346. These are the contents of logical register plus relocation register 14,000. 14,000 plus 346. This is the adder plus. Then physical address value will be 14,346 somewhere in main memory, 0, 2,000, 4,000. Likewise, memory contiguous memory locations are there at that 14,346. That indicates 14,000 is your base address, your logical address as 346. The total length will be clubbed together. 14,346 means 346 bytes of memory is required to execute that particular program. All routines are kept in the disk while relocatable format. Here, no special support from the operating system is required. All OS can helpful various libraries to implementing the dynamic loading. This type of loading is called as the dynamic loading. During the execution time, the OS will calculate the physical address, and that address will be within that address, the process will be loaded into the main memory. And dynamic linking. Here you have two types of linking, static linking and dynamic linking. System libraries and program code combined by the loader into the binary programming image, that is called as the static linkage, means during the compile time. Dynamic linking is until the execution. It will be done at the dynamic indicates during the runtime, during the execution time. Dynamic linking is particularly useful for libraries because once you should remember one thing here, hash include stdio.h, standard input output.header files, and likewise printf, scanf, more number of statements are used. All the functionalities can be resolved during the runtime. Printf code will be included during the runtime. Scanf code will be included during the runtime. That linking is particularly useful for libraries. These system libraries are also known as shared libraries. Here, the libraries are shared during the execution time. During the execution time. Here, static linking means system libraries and programs are combined by the loader into the binary images during the compilation time. That is static linking. During the runtime, the linking is postponed until the execution time. You are called as dynamic linking. Depending upon your C++ will provides runtime environment, runtime polymorphism, dynamic polymorphism, whereas C program supports static polymorphism. Only during the compile time it may use the input values, and libraries are also attached at the compile time only. Your object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java, Python all will support dynamic linking with the help of shared libraries. Here, normally, while executing the program, all the programs must be in the disk initially, and afterwards, the compiler will converting and place the object file, and the loader will load that object file into the main memory. During that time, the available main memory space is not enough to execute that particular process. It will be moved to the secondary memory or backing store. Here, listen, swapping. A process can be swapped temporarily out of memory to a backing store and then brought back into the memory for continued execution. Means total physical memory space for process can be exceeded physical memory. Means that process needs more memory than available physical memory. Then the swapping will be taken place. Swapping means interchanging or exchanging. In other words, you call it as we have the backing store. Fast disk large enough to accommodate copies of all memory images for all users. It must provide direct access to the memory images. Here, roll out and roll in. Two operations it may be performed: swap in, swap out. Here again, roll out, roll in. Swapping variant used for priority-based scheduling algorithms. Low priority process is swapped out, so higher priority process can be loaded and executed. Major part of swap time is transfer time. Total transfer time is directly proportional to the amount of memory swapped. This system maintains a ready queue of ready to run the processes which have memory images on disk. Means you have the ready queue. Some of the processes are in between transferred to the disk, and from that disk again it will be swap in and swap out. Once go through this diagram. This is the diagram. Some higher order memory will be assigned to the user space. Some low space memory will be assigned to the operating system. Whenever you have the booting is done, the process of loading that operating system into the main memory called as booting. Bootstrap loader will be there to load this operating system into the main memory. This is the user space. This is the main memory. These are the backing store. Backing store means your secondary storage disk or secondary memory. Here, this is the main memory. Here, from the main memory, the process P1 swap out to the disk. Means from the memory to the disk, you are called as swap out. From the disk to the main memory is called as swap in. Swap out, you are called as roll out. Again, swap in called as roll in. Both are same. Just there is another name for swap in and swap out. Means the process of moving a job or process in the middle of the execution from memory to the backing store is called as swap out. Same, exchanging or loading the process P2 from backing store to the main memory called as swap in. This is called as the swapping operation. This is the main fundamental operation done by the operating system while executing a process. All the operating systems like Unix, Linux, and Windows will perform the swapping operations. Swapping normally disabled, only some threshold amount of time the memory allocated and again disabled, again one memory demand reduced below the threshold value. Means every time the CPU will busy in swap out and swap in operations, the CPU performance also reduced, then it leads to some efficiency fall. For that reason, only some amount of time the swapping is performed by the CPU. While during the swapping, the CPU performs execution. In between, it receives an external interrupts or any IO signal or some external hardware failures. Then only swapping is possible. Why? Because once the swap out process again placed into the disk, from the disk and again it will be swap in and placed into the ready queue. From that ready queue, it will be assigned to the CPU. This is regarding swapping operation. The main and foremost operation done by the operating system in efficient memory utilization, you have to use swapping. Here you should observe one thing in this diagram. For example, process P1, process P2 are there in main memory. P1 needs 64 MB, but the main memory will have only 52 MB is the available space. Then what to do by the operating system at that moment? It is a good resource allocator or resource manager. With the help of that resource allocation, or resource with the help of that resource manager or resource allocation, the operating system performs swapping operation. Why? Because this process P1 needs only 64 MB, but available main memory has 52 MB. Remaining space will be lesser, then some part up to 52 MB will be kept into the main memory and remaining part will be swapped out to that particular hard disk or secondary storage. Afterwards, the entire execution of that P1 will be completed and terminated successfully, display the result to the user, and the remaining process P1 again move back to the main memory and that part will be executed. That's why entire main memory will be allocated, reallocation or deallocation you are called as, done by the operating system itself. The OS will take care of memory allocation and memory reallocation. Everything will be done by the operating system. Swapping is also known as rolling operation. Rolling or swapping. That's why you are called as swap out means roll out, whereas swap in means roll in operation. Okay, with this, I conclude the today's session. We will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.